Hi everyone, in this video we're going to be using the online application called a Noteflight to input the notation for a piece of music by Jacques Offenbach, which is called the Can Can. Okay, now if we have a listen to it, I'm not going to play it right from the very start because there's an intro. And here comes the melody. Okay, very famous tune, that one. So what you need to do first of all is download the score here. This is the score, this is the notation for it. And what we're going to be doing, we're going to be using the online application Noteflight to input the notation from this score. So it'll play back in a Noteflight application. So what I suggest you do first of all is what we want to do. We want to have half the screen with Noteflight, half the screen with the notation, just so we're not flipping backwards in each screen. So simply drag each page to the side of the screen. That'll make it half the page, and we can see it clearly. So what we're going to do, first things first. To make this really easy, we're going to write one line of the score at a time. We don't want to write, say, 16 bars at a time because we're going to get lost very easy. We can see that the score is written in 5-bar lines. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we're going to write 5 bars at a time. Now, if I place my cursor over the first bar of the treble clef, and I click, I've got this kind of orange hue around the first bar. That means I'm now focused on the first bar. All right. If I want to change my focus or take it off from this first bar, I can simply hit escape. All right. Now you'll notice my cursor, when I move it up and down, I get a little note head on the lines of the spaces of the treble clef stave. That means if I want to input my very first note, which happens to be a crotchet at the note G, I can simply bring my cursor down to that second line and click, and I've written in a note G. Now, if I want to change this note from a crotchet, I've got my note bank right here. I can simply click minims, semibreves, quavers, semiquavers, whatever note it needs to be, I can change it here. Okay. You'll also notice that it's got a shorter and longer, and it's got a bracket next to it. That means I can simply hit my brackets on my keyboard just underneath the equals key to change the note value very quickly. Okay, I'm going to leave it as a crotchet, as that's what we're required here. Now you'll notice all of these crotchets have a little dot either below or above the note head. This is what we call staccato. That means these notes are going to be played very short. Okay, very short and sharp. At the moment, we want to ignore all the staccato dots, all the slur lines, all the marcato accents, and we're just interested in putting in the notation. That's all. So my next note, D, D, E. If I bring my cursor back here, I can simply click D, D, E. Pretty simple. Now the next bar, D, C, C, E. I've got a couple of options with this. I can either keep going with this really fidgety D, C, oh, the wrong note, C, E. If you do a wrong note, simply click on the note head. Oh, I want to get rid of that. Remember, escape takes the focus off, click, drag, and now I can move it. Okay? Gets a bit fidgety. Alright, so what we can do, as I'm up to the third bar, I've just clicked on it, we can have a look at the notation. F, A, C, A, G, G. If I just use my keyboard, F, A, C, A, G, G, and I simply hit those letters, it writes it in much faster. Okay. Now, if we look at bar 4, this G is a minim. All right, that means we need to make this G a minim as well. So we can either come down to our note bank and click minim, or we can simply use the bracket key just below the equals sign and make it a minim. Okay, now we're up to the last bar of our first line. So A, B, B, A. Okay, now that's just written it all as minims. As the last note was a minim, it thought I wanted to keep writing minims. Obviously I don't. So I'm going to hit A. Now it's a crotchet, which is fantastic. Now the B, notice how it's written it an octave higher. If I simply hit down the arrow key, I can bring it to where it needs to be. Okay, and at last A, once again, cool. So here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bars. Now what I want to do, I want to have this spaced out the same as this score. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to click on this bar and I'm going to hit enter. All right, that puts a break. That means I've got 5 bars per line. I want to keep it set out exactly as this score, just to make it really easy to see and follow and not get lost. So to listen to what I've done, I can either bring my cursor up the top and I get this play icon up here and I can hit play. Or if we look down here, I've got a play icon down here. Now the first thing you're going to notice is it's way too slow. So what we need to do is we need to speed it up. This icon here which says crotchet equals 120, this tells us that there's the equivalent of 120 crotchets per minute. That's the equivalent of 2 crotchets per second. Now that's pretty much half as slow as what it needs to be. So if I want to make this twice as fast, I need to double this number here. So doubling 120 gives us 240. If I hit enter, oops, just put it over here. So wherever your cursor is or wherever you're focused at is where the tempo is going to change. All right, so what you need to do, click on the 120 here, go down here, 240, and now it's changed at the very first bar. All right, if we had changed it over here, it would play slow up until the tempo changed and then fast. We want to make sure it's playing the correct tempo from the very start. If I hit play and have a listen, much better. Okay, so once I've done the first line, I'm now going to do the bass clef of the first line. Now the bass clef, we have chords. Okay, that's 2 notes played at the same time. We can see the treble clef melody line didn't have any chords, it just had single notes. So what I'm going to do, click on my first bar and I'm going to click in my first note, which is a D. Very good. Now I want to click in the chord. The bottom note of that chord is an F. Okay, now if I try and click in a note above it, I can't. All right, what I need to do, I need to click on this note head and that brings me up the option to add another note to this chord. So there we have the F and the G. At the moment they are crotchets. I want to make them minims, sorry, so I can hit my bracket and that makes them minims. Same deal here. If I want to add another note to this F, I need to click on the note head, and now I can add that note. So bar 2, C, E. Remember, click on the note head, and there's the G. Bracket to make it a minim. E. Click on the note head, G. Now, once again, really fidgety using the mouse to do this. We can do it much faster using our keyboard. So if I hit F, and then the next note is an A and a C, A, to add the note on top of the A, I can simply hold Shift and C, then a bracket to make it minim, A, Shift, C. Next note, E, then it's G, Shift, C, make it a minim, bracket, G, Shift, C. Next one, D, which is then an F, Shift, B, make it a minim, F, Shift, B. This is where it gets really important to know the notes of your treble and bass clef, because you can do this much faster. Let's have a listen to the first line. Okay, cool. So next one, we're up to the second line. So what I'm going to do at the moment, my second line only consists of 2 bars. If I bring my cursor just above these bars, I get a plus and minus. That means I can take bars away or I can add bars. So we know the second line goes for 5 bars, so I'm just going to put in 5 bars like so. Get to the end, hit enter, and there I have 5 bars for my second line. So if I am doing the treble clef, it starts with G, C, C, E. Now, once again, it's written the C in the wrong octave. So I'll hit it down and bring it down there. And the next bar, E, D, E, D, E, D, E, D, G, remember, down, G, D. Okay, so you can see how quickly you can input the notes once you use the keyboard. Same deal. E, G, Shift, C, make it a minimum, the bracket, G, Shift, C. Next one, D. Now if we have a look right here, we have an F sharp, okay? So to make that an F sharp, if I hit F, I can use my note toolbox down here, find my sharp sign, and that will make it a sharp. My other option is, if we look at the keyboard shortcut, it's the plus. So I can simply hit the plus. Now to add that C on top of it, hold Shift and C, and it's done. I bring it up there. Now to make it a minim, I can use my bracket. Now remember, sharps last for the entire bar, okay? So that means I don't need to write a sharp note in front of this F. It's going to play a sharp automatically because this F is already sharped, okay? So hold Shift, add C. Okay, next bar. D, F, Shift, G, make it a minim, F, Shift, G. Next bar, D, F, Shift, G, whoops, back, make it a minim, F, Shift, G. Next bar, C, E, Shift, G, make it a minim, E, Shift, G. So there we have the first 2 lines of the Can Can. Let's have a listen to it. Okay, fantastic. Now, if I was to keep going with my third line, what I would do, I would come down here and I would create 5 bars. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, what I want to do is if I hit 6, I've now got 6 bars, okay? I want this line to end at the end of bar 5. So if I click at bar 5 and I hit enter, that brings a system break at the end of that bar there, okay? Anyway, good luck.